chance in the postseason. But I guess my question is the fact that their minutes got limited last night, is that a potential silver lining for them in Game 3?
I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a silver lining, it's a business decision. Same way a guy decides to get out the way when he's about to get rocked at the rim. Like, it's a business decision. By the third quarter, this thing was pretty much in hand for the Warriors. And so now you're monitoring the exertion of energy, goes to the conservation of energy.
It's going to matter, that 1-1 stat in terms of 73%, if it goes.
Historically, no. I think what matters is if it's 2-2 advantage Warriors, 3-1 advantage Lakers.
He's obsessed with Game 4.
Because it's going to be.
Stop talking about Game
He's
4.
right. It is going to be 2-2. It doesn't matter who wins either one.
If it's 2-2. If the Lakers played great in Game 4, that could be it.
Here's the thing, though. In this conversation, there's so much nuance, though. Both teams arguably could have a great Game 3 and 4, and it comes down to a possession. And so now we're talking about the energy exerted. Like, I think we're in for more close games like Game 1, not at that speed, than we are clunkers like Game 2.
All right. We got lots more on this as we move along. The Milwaukee Bucks did not make the second round of the playoffs. They did make news yesterday.
Just how much out they're out there. It's the style of the way they're out there. And so my question is, now that they know that they're going to probably play small, now that they know that Draymond Green is probably going to be the primary defender on AD, do the Lakers now respond by turning the dial backwards and say, okay, now we're going to use our size advantage and we're going to get into the interior and make you guys have to dig and work in there. That's the back and forth and the ebb and flow. And I think that's what we're going to be paying attention to. It's the speed of the game more important than how much minutes they're actually out there.
Is that what you expect them to do?
I expect them to play a lot slower in terms of getting AD quality touches around the elbow, seeing how assertive and aggressive they can be. But the Lakers team historically has played fast and played in transition. The problem is they can't play as fast as the Warriors. And the other problem is that they're not as efficient and effective from three. The Warriors are basically making 21 threes a game.
40 in Game 1. CJ, you play in this league. Like, I mean, you know about the grind of the schedule. Like, how important is that for the Lakers to manage the minutes of these guys? I know it sounds silly to manage in playoff, but the ability for them to limit those guys last night, can that have a benefit going forward?
I think it definitely benefits them. They understood the sense of urgency they needed to have in terms of getting one of those games, and they basically blew it all out in Game 1, where AD goes and gets 30 and 20, Brian plays 40 minutes, AD plays 44 minutes. There was a huge sense of urgency to get one of those games. It's almost like they punted Game 2 once they seen how serious the Warriors were about it. Once they seen that they weren't going to win, they reduced the minutes, they reduced their aggression, and basically said, we're going to go home and try to figure out how to get Game 3. But I don't think you worry about minutes, because you can rest all summer, you can rehab all summer.
Right.
AD missed 26 games this year. Bron's missed a ton of games this year. They said he's sleeping 10 to 12 hours a night. He's probably in his hyperbaric chamber. I think the Warriors win Game 3, and I think it's flipped. But either way, it's coin flip down the stretch of this series.
For sure.
It's a coin flip.
For sure.
Interesting stat. We saw the Lakers have won 9 games in a row when the series is tied at a game apiece. I mean, that might just be a random weird stat, but I found it interesting.
During the first round.
Are you saying what I think you're
Yes,
saying?
he is.
Why would he sell? He sold, number one, because he got $3.2 billion valuation.
Yes.
He bought for $700, sold for $3.2. That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good reason.
He also sold because he knew that there was problems coming. And it wasn't because of anything that the Bucks did or any mistake. When a team like this in a mid-market competes for 5 or 6 years, there becomes pressure. Giannis has a contract extension this offseason. Now, he's under contract for 2 more years. But if he doesn't sign that extension, orange light, we got problems. They've got 2 free agents in their 30s, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, with the repeater tax starting for them next year, and a bunch of new rules, which CJ knows better than anybody because the man negotiated the contract. The rules are set up to penalize teams that are high salary teams, hamstringing them, and they have to decide on a coach and whether to pay 2 30-year-olds, whether or not, and they have to, and we have the first move with the firing of Budenholzer yesterday.
If you're saying what I think you're saying,
Which he is.
where's Giannis going?
You're getting too far ahead of yourself because
Championship. Not a lot of time there, Wendy. What does this tell you about the Bucks' future and specifically Giannis?
CJ, you're a businessman. Let's say you own an NBA team. Every ticket is sold. Every suite is sold. You own the real estate around the arena. Tenants are sold. You have an MVP in his prime under contract. Why would you sell?
You didn't do it, Wendy.
Why would you sell?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Well, while we were up here arguing about who the MVP was going to be or whether the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, one of the most important things in the NBA.
Every night. Like, this is something they can do consistently. So the Lakers have to be aggressive and intentional about getting to the free throw line, slowing the game down, and allowing LeBron and AD to overpower them.
So what does that look like then, CJ? Because we asked Jay in the previous segment about how do you slow a game down, right? And yesterday he pointed out that the Lakers would get the rebound or get the ball, and they were pushing. And so in many ways that played into the Warriors' hands. So in terms of slowing it down, is it literally bringing the ball up slower? It's allowing AD to get established, whether it's in the pick and roll or if he's going to go and post up Draymond? Like, how literally are they going to slow this down?
I think you run early. You run on misses and makes early so that you have longer possessions to kind of figure things out. So historically, you want to get the ball across half court quickly and then settle everything down. Settle the table down. Bron's strategic. He's smart. He can find his matchups. You want to make Steph Curry guard because that makes him tired. You want to put him in pick and rolls because that wears him down. And that also allows him to have trouble in terms of foul trouble like last night. Him guarding D'Lo was bad for them because D'Lo draws fouls. So there's things that they can take away from that game and say, oh, okay. Let's put Steph in more pick and rolls. Let's wear him out a little bit. Let's run Klay off screens. Austin Reeves has struggled because he's been chasing Klay around. And it's different. When you're dependent upon on offense and defense, and the guy you're guarding is 6'7", it's hard. So strategically figuring out how to let him.
LeBron in particular were alarmed in the postgame, right? Like LeBron said it. The Warriors were going to hold serve. Now you go back to LA. You have a chance to protect home court.
Yeah, and Dan, I don't think it's just about the.
Figure it out. You can get your surgeries in the offseason and do what you got to do. But I think this is a sense of urgency because of the window for LeBron to win championships and for AD to continue to solidify his greatness. Play 40.